Have you ever seen your whole world in a child's drawing? It wasn't a drawing of a sun or a house with a smiling family. It was a crude crayon sketch of 3 figures. And the moment my son's teacher showed it to me, the floor beneath my feet turned to glass. I was standing in the brightly colored hallway of his kindergarten, the smell of chalk dust and disinfectant in the air. But all I could see was the glowing screen of my phone from the night before. A single text message from my wife Sarah that made no sense at the time. He's asleep. Almost there. The drawing showed a mommy, a little boy, and another man, a man who wasn't me, holding hands. The teacher, a kind woman with worried eyes, pointed a trembling finger at the 3rd figure and asked, "Mr. Collins, do you know who this is?" Leo calls him Mommy's special friend. That's when I knew my life was a lie. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For 10 years, Sarah was my everything. We built a life in a brownstone in Lincoln Park, Chicago. I designed buildings that touched the skyline, and she curated art for the city's elite. We had Leo, our beautiful boy. I thought we were happy, but happiness, I learned, can be a carefully constructed illusion. The signs were there, hiding in plain sight. The late nights, she claimed, were for gallery openings. The sudden, hushed phone calls she'd take on the balcony overlooking Clark Street. Her back turned to me. She started treating me with a cold, dismissive arrogance, as if my presence was an inconvenience. When I'd try to talk to her, to bridge the growing chasm between us, she'd twist my words, making me feel needy and paranoid. "God, can't you just let me have my own life?" She'd snap, her voice dripping with a venom I didn't recognize. The affair partner I soon discovered was Mark, a smug real estate developer with a corner office overlooking the river, one of her gallery's biggest clients. They felt untouchable, wrapped in their bubble of expensive dinners and secret hotel stays. The day I saw that drawing was the day the loyal husband died. I went home, sat in my car in our garage for an hour, and just broke. The kind of broken that feels final. Sobs racked my body until nothing was left but a cold, hollow space inside me. And in that space, a single, chilling thought took root. Revenge. Not loud, messy revenge. Quiet, precise, and total destruction. The next 3 months, I became a ghost in my own home. I was the perfect, oblivious husband. I made her coffee in the morning. I listened to her fabricated stories about work. But while she was sleeping, I was gathering proof. I hired a private investigator, a grizzled ex-cop who knew the city's secrets. Gave me everything. Photos of them kissing in a dimly lit booth at a restaurant in the Gold Coast. Hotel receipts from the peninsula, text messages so vile they made my stomach turn. I compiled it all into a neat, undeniable dossier of her betrayal. I wasn't just gathering evidence for a divorce, I was building a cage. My plan had 2 parts, social and legal. Sarah's entire identity was built on her reputation in the art world, a world that prized image and integrity above all else. Her gallery was hosting its biggest annual charity gala, an event she'd been planning for a year. The mayor would be there, collectors, artists, the media. It was her coronation, dead, and it would be her execution. Legally, I found a shark. A divorce attorney so ruthless, she made my own newfound coldness feel amateur. We used the evidence to file an emergency motion, citing moral and financial misconduct, and scheduled the hearing for the day after the gala. We prepared to argue that her affair, funded by our joint accounts, constituted a dissipation of marital assets. We would strip her of everything. The night of the gala was a movie. Sarah was radiant in a shimmering gown, floating through the crowd, accepting praise, completely unaware that her world was about to burn. Mark was by her side, his arm possessively around her waist. They looked like a power couple. At 9 p.m., just as she was about to take the stage for her keynote speech, it began. An anonymous email, sent from a burner account to every single person on the guest list, every board member, and every major art critic in Chicago. The subject line: The Real Curation of Sarah Collins. Inside was a link to a password-protected website. The password? Mark. The site contained it all. The photos, the hotel bills, the salacious texts. A low murmur rippled through the crowd as phones lit up. Faces turned from admiration to shock, then to disgust. I watched from the back of the room as Sarah's smile faltered. She looked at Mark, whose face had gone pale. He backed away from her, a coward abandoning a sinking ship. She looked out at the sea of faces, at the whispers and the stares, and her perfect world crumbled into dust. She fled the stage, humiliated. The next morning in court was a formality. A broken, weeping Sarah sat across from me. Her lawyer could do nothing. The evidence was absolute. The judge, a stern woman who did not suffer fools, granted every one of our requests. I got full custody of Leo. I got the house. I got the accounts. She was left with nothing but the clothes on her back and a reputation so toxic, she'll never work in this city again. The last time I saw her, she was loading a cardboard box into the back of a beat-up car. Her designer dress from the gala still crumpled on the passenger seat. There was no triumph in it, no satisfaction, just a vast, quiet emptiness. I won. I destroyed her, just as I planned. But sometimes, late at night, when the city is quiet and Leo is sleeping soundly in his room, I look at his drawing, still pinned to my office wall. And I realize I didn't just burn her world down, I burned down my own. The end.